Hi, I'm Alexa. Thank you for being here. War is bad. No more war. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's the gist of it today. This weekend, after really terrible polling numbers came out on pretty much everything that this administration is trying to do, we're blindsided by, maybe we weren't blindsided, some people probably saw it coming, the fact that after promising not to make a decision for 2 weeks, after like 2 days, the administration bombed Iran. This comes 4 years after we finally got out of the unwinnable war in Afghanistan, that the current administration had promised we would be withdrawn by a certain date. It was like something like 2 months or something after the inauguration in 2021. 2021 was the inauguration. Left zero plans to actually withdraw a large operation from a foreign country safely and efficiently and effectively. Zero plans in place. And then spent countless hours demanding that Biden keep a promise made by the previous administration. The senators who are currently doing everything in their power to cozy up to the current administration and claim that this was a great act and that Iran deserved it and, we show strength through power and all that nonsense. They also, despite the facts that were presented that the deadline would almost certainly cost us lives, that we needed to extend it to make a proper comprehensive plan. Even a month would have helped. An extra month would have helped, right? To make a proper plan to safely and efficiently withdraw from the country, to bring all of our assets, to not leave freaking $100, maybe $1 million materials on the ground there, having to blow stuff up and leave it there, right? If we had planned even an extra month or two, we could have avoided what did happen, the absolute shit show of a withdrawal that we were forced into. Those same people who were going on and on about this war needs to end, war is bad, war costs the taxpayers too much money, they're now celebrating this, getting involved in another Middle Eastern conflict. War is bad. There are way too many conflicts going on, and a lot of it is being caused by insecure men who think that being loud and aggressive and bullying is strength. It's not. Real strength is silent. Real strength is knowing that you have the power, that you are doing the right thing, that you can get stuff done. I was just thinking about Ronda Rousey. I remember seeing one of her press conferences probably around the time she was in the Expendables, whichever one she was in. I think she was in the Expendables. Pretty sure she was. And she was it was before that. It was right before that. And she was just stone-faced. She was silent. The person she was going to be fighting, they were at the weigh-in. And they always do that like face-off at the weigh-ins, right? The person she was going to fight was like just spitting mad. Like just saying all sorts of stuff. None of it really made sense, but it was trying to get a reaction out of Ronda Rousey. Didn't. Sure enough, Ronda won that fight. You could tell that she just knew and had confidence in herself. A few years later, she went back and did a really massively publicized fight. She hadn't been in the ring in a while, I don't think. And at the weigh-in, it was the opposite way around with her opponent. Her opponent was calm and collected and silent. And I was shocked by how loud and aggressive Ronda looked. And I was like, she doesn't believe she can do this. She got knocked out. You could take that example And you could probably find other examples across every type of sport, right? Whether it's quarterbacks talking crap before, a big game, Super Bowl, whatever, right? Whether it's basketball stars, right? Whether it's, heck, tennis players, right? You can tell when people know they have power because they don't need to talk about it. If you need to tell people how strong you are, you're not. War is bad. Power is silent. That's my TED Talk. For today, at least. The conflict in Iran, there's a lot of talking points out there, and there is a lot of supposition, right? People are guessing about what's going to happen, how much is out there, how much is accurate in terms of information. Every intelligence agency that we know puts out pretty accurate information. They all say there's no weapons of mass destruction right now in Iran. That doesn't mean we shouldn't be asking why Iran is enriching uranium to 60%, when that's not necessary for what they say they're doing with it, and is like the step where if you are going to create a weapon, then enriching it to, I want to say 90% is like much easier from that 60% something. Yes, we should be asking those questions. Ironically, someone on the extreme right in the US just came out and said we should have some sort of agreement where we can monitor them. Oh, you mean like the Iran nuclear deal that Obama signed and the current president ripped up 4 or 5 years ago, that literally allowed inspectors from the UN, I believe NATO, from the US to go in and inspect all their sites with no warning? You mean like that deal that was working really well by every reputable intel agency out there? You the one that was ripped up because our current president just literally cannot stand other people having any success? Constantly. That's what he does. He destroys things that other people have made. Now, the craziest thing is he destroyed the US-Mex-Canada trade agreement, said it was absolutely crap. He signed that. He made that deal 5 or whatever years ago at this point. That was his deal. And he's out there saying that whoever did that was a crap negotiator? What a cell phone. Come on now. That's a cell phone. He is not ever going to lead us properly through conflict. He's proven that. He doesn't believe it. If he doesn't believe it, why will anyone else? Why will any of America's enemies or our allies believe that he's confident and capable? I don't want us in war. I want our senators who were screaming at Biden to scream at this administration the same things. No war. America needs to stay out of the Middle East. They need to let it alone. It's not our problem. Stop wasting our taxpayer dollars on these overseas wars. They need to stop going into places like Venezuela, and we have a very long track history of various countries around the world, including Afghanistan back in like the 60s or so, of funding opposition groups, of militants, basically of terrorists in those countries, right? We need to stop. Because every time we meddle, we create a much bigger issue down the line. But I guess someone somewhere gets rich. It's not the 99% of us who pay taxes. Nope, we're funding these things. If we're serious about fiscal responsibility, the US needs to do everything it can to stay out of wars, to help avoid wars overseas between our allies and our enemies, their enemies, common enemies. We need to do our best to stay out of war. Everything should be done to stay out of war. The cost of human life, of innocence, it's not worth it. This was winding. I went a few different ways. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thank you. I will see you in a few days. Be kind to yourself.